Hey, what's up, guys? So, I'm EsoBeats, or you can call me Eso. I actually work here at Midnight Studios. So, this is where we have our podcast set up. I'm a producer, engineer, and aspiring artist. And I have big goals, man. I have big goals.
Okay. How long you been doing engineering?
Shoot, I'm a new hire, so I've been engineering for like 2-3 months here.
Okay.
Yeah.
But how long you been doing engineering, like in general? How long you been doing music?
I've been making music since 8th grade, I'd say. So,
Okay.
couple years. I've been making beats and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what progress you've done? Have you been working with any big artists or local artists here?
So far, like since I've started working at the studio, I've been working with more artists for sure. Met some local artists that are up and coming, and I've a long way to go. I want to work with major artists, and I feel like this studio will definitely help me get there.
Mm-hmm. Why did you decided to be an engineer, to be doing music?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's actually funny because back in March for my birthday, I actually booked a session here.
Okay.
It was my first time coming here, and I just booked a session. Just have friends come over, party, have fun, right? And at that time, I didn't even think I was going to be an engineer. I was thinking I was going to be an artist. I was going to release songs. Release songs that I produced, and so I didn't even think I was going to be engineering, but I had a friend come with me, and he knows the people who works here. So they were telling my friend, like, hey, we're looking for an intern. We're looking for new people. And they thought that I was a good fit. So not too long after, hit up the studio, and they got me in as an intern, and then the rest is history.
The rest is history.
Yeah.
That's right. Was it like your childhood dream to become an artist? And do you still keep pursuing it?
Well, when I was young, I did not think I was going to be making music or pursuing music. I had different dreams. I wanted to be like a bus driver or something, So, but I'd say recently, within the last year or two, my mindset has really changed, and that really propelled me to be firm with my decision to pursue music. So I'd say last year was definitely a turning point for me. I went to a producer retreat in Atlanta, met some major producers there, like who worked with all of your favorite artists. And when I saw like what was possible with producing and making music, I said, yeah, this is what I want.
So that was the main thing that happened that changed your mind to start doing music. Okay.
Right.
And what tools you're using to pursue your career? You like networking with other artists?
What tools? Yeah, so I'm networking with artists, Instagram, in person, the studio, I'm always at the at the studio. I'm at the place where I'm with other artists, so it's easier to network. I don't have to go looking for them, they'll come here, right? So I'm just networking through different ways, going out at night to clubs or things like that, networking events, I do want to go to some concerts, meet some people, meet and greets and stuff. So,
That's smart.
Yeah.
Do you think? Do you have any degree in recording and engineering?
No, man.
Do you think it's necessary?
I did not even go to school for audio engineering.
How did you learn that? Just like YouTube videos?
YouTube and shadowing, people here. Shout out Jay, shout out Nosa, GP, Kyle, Zoe. You feel me? Sammy, bro. Like, I really learned like engineer from these guys who've been working at the studio for a while, plus YouTube tutorials. So that really helped me like start to learn the basics and fundamentals of audio engineering, mixing and mastering. Aside from that, because I've been making beats and producing, it's intertwined sometimes, like engineering and producing. So I feel like that background in making beats and producing has helped me learn engineering much faster than other people.
So what is the main thing that required to become an engineer, a music engineer?
Well, generally speaking, like most people, they go through the path of going to school for audio engineering, and then once they get a certification or diploma, then they just apply to studios, send in their resumes, show what songs they've mixed and mastered or worked on. And then if the studio thinks they're a fit, then they'll get hired. But my path was different because I had a friend who knew people who worked here. That's how I got in, right? So shout out William, if you're watching this, shout out you, dog. William. You feel me?
Yeah.
But yeah, like connections is another thing too. I got in through connections. True. Right? If it wasn't through connections, I probably would not even be here right now.
Do you believe in talent, or you think it's mostly hard work?
Oh, I love this question. Talent and hard work definitely do play a role. Me, I'm a big believer in manifestation. Like, I believe your reality is just a projection of your subconscious beliefs. So if you look at, you know, all these people who are successful, like, look at what their subconscious beliefs are. You know, like, do they believe that they're enough? Do they believe they're capable? Because if you don't believe these things but you want to achieve something in life, it's going to be very difficult. So I definitely believe in like believing in yourself, manifestation. And then I feel like if you really hone in on that, that can propel you to take actions that will help, you know, increase your skills or talent and whatnot.
But still there's like some days when you're losing your belief in yourself, maybe because of the difficulties and struggles. So what are you doing in those days, and have you had them?
Oh yeah, plenty of days where you know, I'll have doubts and stuff. I'd say you want to have like a collection of different things that can help you. You don't just want to rely on one coping mechanism or one practice. So I'll practice different things, like such as journaling, meditating, prayer, talking to myself in the mirror, speaking with a friend. You know, if you have supportive friends, you know, don't be afraid to reach out. You know, YouTube or the internet's always a good resource. You know, watching motivational videos in the morning. Another thing I've noticed is so a lot of people, when they wake up in the morning, the first thing they do is go on social
TikTok.
Media.
Yeah, scroll.
And then they'll see how other people live their lives and stuff, and that's not how you want to start your day. You know, so I've noticed once I've started my day doing other things, then I'm starting on a good blank slate of mind. So that allows me to be more creative, have more clarity, have more peace, instead of just logging in on Instagram and seeing how other people are, you know, living in their Lamborghinis and you know, things like that. So
yeah, and a lot of things also depends, because you compare your day 1 to their like day 437 something.
Yeah, okay, that's another thing too. Like, even myself included, we forget to look at our progress. You know, even if you're a little better than the version of you yesterday, like, that's still progress, man. Like, sometimes we forget to look at how far we've come.
True.
You know, like, I'm working at a studio now, like Midnight Studios. Like, we're one of the top studios in the city, man. Like,
yeah,
the fact that I'm working here, like, even a year ago, the version of me a year ago would probably trade his life to be here where I am right now.
What was your version of you a year ago? What was your routine like?
A year ago, like, before I went to the retreat, like, I was fucked up. I was, you know, I don't want to say I was depressed, but I had nothing going on for me. Like, I was in college at that time. I was not showing up to classes. You know, I was just playing video games all day and night. Like, I had a skill, I had a talent in making beats and music, and I was not even using it. You know.
So why did you decide to change that lifestyle to the one that you have right now?
Well, so I was working at Harvey's at that time, and I was just, you know, I was like, had no goals and stuff. And then one day I saw an ad on Instagram about the retreat, and there was just something in me that really felt compelled to go to that retreat, because I think there was still like a part of me that had passion for music, and I feel like that part of me never died down. So that part of me propelled me to go to that retreat. It propelled me to travel to Atlanta and meet people that I've never met before, industry people, right? And once I came back from that trip, I was like, yeah, I really needed this retreat. You know, this retreat really opened my eyes. You know, if it wasn't for that retreat, then I don't know, maybe I would have had another moment that would have woke me up, or maybe not, who knows. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it.
Okay. Yeah. So before you mentioned that you're doing meditation. So what type of meditation you're doing? Like,
well, there are different types of meditation that I'll practice. Sometimes, when my mind is racing and it's hard to calm the mind down, I'll just observe. So a common misconception people have when it comes to meditation is they think you have to silence your mind or quiet your mind, but that's not necessarily true. Even just observing your thoughts, because you have to remember your thoughts are not you, right? So when you don't identify with your thoughts, like I'll give you an example. Let's say, I don't know, like what's a good example? Like let's say you're in traffic, right? And someone tailgates you and then they cuss you out. Now, if you're thinking about that the entire day, but you don't realize that you're thinking about that the entire day, that's going to affect you. Like it might affect you for the rest of the week. So you can start observing that thought. And then once you observe that thought, there's not so much power that you're letting that thought give. Because when you're not observing your thoughts, then you're letting your thoughts dictate your emotions and actions.
Yeah, so that's kind of like putting your focus in the right way.
Yeah, so when you observe your thoughts like from a third person point of view, like, yo, these are not my thoughts, but I'm having these thoughts, or, you know, whatever you tell yourself in that moment, and then you observe those thoughts as it is, then you take your power back.
By the way, do you compare yourself to like other people? Because it's sometimes it could be useful, I think, but sometimes it can also destroy you. I mean, if you compare yourself in a healthy way, that like, oh, I want to be that guy, and you don't compare like, this guy already have this, and I still don't have it. If you compare like this, I would like to be like someone in the future, but not like at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. When it comes to other people, how I look at it is, if I see someone riding down the street in a Lambo, or like if I see someone with a nice looking woman or a nice looking house, instead of feeling down about it, I'll just tell myself, this is God or universe showing me what's possible for me. So if I ever notice like a feeling of envy or jealousy, I'm not going to be hard on myself. I'll just be like, okay, you're human. It's okay to have envy and jealousy. It's about what you do with that feeling. Right? Do you hate? Do you become angry? Like, oh, why don't I have those things? Or do you use that jealousy or envy to say, hey, this is what's possible for me as well. I can put my mind to it and achieve those things as well.
Do you have that feelings often, like envy and jealousy?
No, not often, but it'll still come up here and there. You know, we're all human, so.
Okay, but wait, what about your dream car? You said you had
my dream car. Shoot, like if you know me, like you know I'm not really big on cars, but I'll say a dream car. Probably like a Range Rover, or something like that maybe.
Okay. Do you have any plans for the rest of 2024 or the beginning of 2025? If you would like to share them.
Yeah, no worries. Rest of 2024, I just want to keep building here at Midnight, and then from there just keep networking with people, you know, such as you, content creators, influencers, musicians, artists, producers, graphic designers, managers, everyone in this industry. So that's my goal, is just to be socializing more, getting out there more, and also working on being more financially stable. Because if I'm financially stable, then that gives me more time to be creative
and more opportunities. So
yeah.
What is the success for you? Is it about something material, or it's more about a state of mind? What do you think?
I say it's a state of mind. Yeah. Everyone has their own opinions when it comes to that, and I say there's no right or wrong answer when it comes to that question, because what success to me might be different for you, right? So for me, success might be having financial freedom. To another person, success might be getting their diploma, right? So it's subjective to everyone, but I'd say for me, for what I think success is for me, is having a certain state of mind where I'm not constantly stressing or worrying about things, and I can just spend time with family and friends, you know, have fun, you know, go out, travel, make music and stuff.
Do you stress out often? Like, you're worrying about the future and you're stressing about it often? It comes.
Well, I won't even lie. Like recently, like I've been going through a lot of stress, but that's because, you know, since I'm new here and I'm taking that risk of entering a new environment, a new path, you know, there are a lot of things that I might not see coming. So that might, you know, throw me under stress, but I have the coping mechanisms. I have the supportive friends to help me keep going. So I just look forward to the next day, you know?
How many like actual friends you have? Like the one that you can rely on?
Well, I have a lot of friends, but I say when it comes to like supportive friends who I can trust and like talk to about my stress, my problems, I'd say it's a very few. I'd say it's a very few.
There's the ones like from the childhood?
Like friends I've known since childhood, about even friends that I've only met like since last year, you know, like, because sometimes you'll meet people, but you just feel like, you feel like you've known them for longer. And it's just that energy, like energy doesn't lie, you know? So sometimes you'll meet people that are more on the same path as you, or they think more like you, compared to like a friend you've had like since high school or childhood. So I'd say it's a variety of friends from childhood and friends that I've met like more recently.
So what does a friend mean to you? It's like somebody that that you can rely on, or is it somebody that you just hang out with?
I don't want to say a friend is someone who I can rely on, because at the end of the day, like a friendship is it's a two-way street. Like even in relationships too, right? A friend is someone who I can build with and they can build with me, and that we can help give each other emotional support. You know, like we might not be able to give financial support, you know, when we're not in that position to, but even if you can provide something like, hey, I'm here for you if you want to like talk, you know, just something as simple as that. You know, like checking up on you here and there. Like you don't have to talk every day, you don't have to call every day, but even here and there, if you have a friend who checks up on you, then that's definitely a friend that you want to consider keeping around you. So yeah.
So by the way, how old do you know?
21.
Okay. Looking at yourself like at the age of 18, what the advice you would give to yourself?
What advice?
Yeah. Maybe you made some mistakes that you could avoid if you would like.
I'd say two things. Don't screw your credit and get a car.
True. Car, it's the biggest waste of money.
Yeah, I'd probably like even tell my younger self like, yo, like whatever money you make from a job, invest that into like other streams of income, like day trading and things like that. Yeah.
Do you read any books maybe?
Books? Recently, yes, I've started reading more books. Reading more like mindset books, I would say, like Think and Grow Rich, the classic. I've been reading another book, I forgot the title, but it's about like unlocking your creativity, you know, just things like that, books like that.
Do you think it helps a lot? Because I think in nowadays there's a lot of audiobooks and then just video, so you can get the same material faster, but in the other side of this, you get in like the same information faster, but you do not memorize that as good as when you read that information.
Yeah, like I've tried audiobooks, but me personally, I don't think I can get the hang of audiobooks. Like I want to like hold the book and read it, because for me, I feel like I can concentrate more. You know, if I'm on my phone listening to an audiobook, I have notifications popping up, text messages, calls. But when I'm holding a book, I don't have those distractions, right? So it depends on the person. Like some people, they turn off all their notifications and they can listen to an audiobook, no problem, right? But for me personally, I think I have to like sit down or like have a book in my hand. Yeah.
So what is like a happy life for you? Is the life when you achieved a lot of your dreams and stuff like that? What is the happiness for you itself?
A happy life is when everyone around you and yourself included can live in harmony. I think that's a happy life for me.
How do you achieve the harmony? Because it's kind of complicated to achieve it.
Yeah, well,
that's why happiness is hard to achieve, I guess.
Well, I'd say like it's simple, not easy, right? Like theoretically, you know, if everyone communicates, if everyone goes after what they want to achieve in life, if you know, everyone can achieve a peaceful state of mind and find what coping mechanisms works with them, how they can relieve stress, heal from their emotions. I feel like if everyone can get on that same page, then we can definitely, you know, get closer to that, if not there. So I feel like the next step would be to just plant a seed, you know? Like, what I mean by planting a seed is, for example, me, like, I know I like to talk about meditation sometimes, believing in yourself. So I'll tell my friends to, you know, believe in themselves, you know, go after what they want. And even if they don't want to hear it, well, too bad, you know? If they don't want to hear it, then just don't be around me then, you know? So even if they might not consciously like accept your message, if you can just even talk about it once, at least you plant that seed in their mind. So if you keep doing that, and then people's attitudes will slowly start to change, because I've seen it happen. Like, people, like, you know, they'll be like, what are you talking about, right? Like, believing in myself, or like manifestation, and then a month later they'll be like, oh, maybe you were right, or this and that, right? So I'm always going to preach what I believe in. So I'd say that's the next step, like getting people to start being introspective of what they can work on, what emotions, thought patterns, habits that they can start changing. Yeah.
So the last question would be, looking forward to the future, how do you see yourself in 5 years from now? That would be interesting for you to see it in 5 years, actually.
What I can envision myself 5 years from now?
When you will be 26.
How definitely a wealthy, you know, I can envision myself as a multimillionaire for sure. And then I can use that wealth to spread, you know, the message to friends, family, communities. You know, I believe I can be like a music superstar too. Like, hey man, you heard it here first, Eso, man. You know, music icon. You know, traveling around the world. That's definitely one thing.
Which countries you would like to visit?
Shoot, I want to visit every country, man. Every country. I want to visit every country. So that's where I can see myself 5 years from now.